Welcome to Extra
Toppings. Mm-hmm. Bing, bing,
This
bing.
is the first time we're introducing it formally.
Oh my
But
god, yeah.
welcome to Extra Toppings.
Extra toppings. What would you like, Becca? What would you add as extra toppings?
To
To
what do you
your
mean?
okay, let's say you
to
get
my
a
actual
pearl
bubble tea order?
Yeah. You get a pearl milk tea.
I like the lychee.
Oh, lychee jelly. So I also like the lychee jelly. I like it in the QQ drinks that they have at Cha Time. Where they mix it with the pearls. But if I were to add extra recently, I've been experimenting with pearl Thai milk tea plus pudding. Very good.
Pudding. Ooh. I've only ever got pudding in
Three
the
guys.
cocoa one. Three guys. There we go.
The
That's
three
what it's called.
guys. So instead of talking about three guys today in the extra toppings, we want to talk about colorism.
So we recently had an episode talking about Singles Inferno. And during that show, you notice that they mention a lot about pale skin, purity, and things like that. So we found another video that was interviewing a bunch of people on the streets of Korea regarding kind of like Asian beauty standards.
Yes.
And kind of like their take on this topic and whether or not they see it as an issue.
Yes. And it's by Asian Boss, and they commonly do these things where they ask about like common issues in Korea because people are interested in what Koreans think, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's different, like culture things.
Yeah, so it's interesting to learn.
Yeah.
So we
for
watched
sure,
this.
for sure.
And I was actually, I don't know if I want to say like I expected them to say things like that. But I kind of did. Okay, so basically the interviewers, they asked what they thought about the color controversy, like skin color controversy that came up with Singles Inferno, right? And then they mostly didn't think it was a problem.
Yeah.
Like they were like, they thought it was more of a discussion about if you prefer whatever skin tone, which is totally up to the person, right?
Yeah. They were saying how saying things like that in Korea isn't really that controversial.
Yeah, or like most of East Asia.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but I think the reason why the controversy was not delivered properly to these people, the reason why is because people have been associating a certain skin color with a certain behavior and a certain trait of the person. Like, it's like a defining feature. Like, if you have white skin, then you are suddenly a better person because you are more pure, you're more innocent, and you're less likely to commit a crime.
Yeah, and then also there was a girl who actually said something about how people with like tan skin are often seen as like, you know, lower class or something like, because they were seen as like laborers.
Yeah.
So that kind of like translated to their current culture and why people don't want to be, you know, tan because it makes them seem like they're of like a lower class than people with pale skin.
Yeah, my family like preached that as well. So when I was growing up, obviously, like a lot of Asian kids go through the same thing. They get criticized for having tanner skin, because the reason my parents told me that why dark skin was not as good, because back in the day, it's exactly what they said, where people who worked on the farms tend to have darker skin. So then like that is indirectly associated with like people who live in rural areas have darker skin, right? Because in rural areas they rely on agriculture to live, whereas people in the city live inside, and it's like similar to now you have the luxury of like work from home or like work inside a building, so they don't get exposed to, and they're whiter. So then that indirectly they relate it to people who live in the city are richer. So therefore, if you're whiter, you're richer and you're of a higher class of society. So a lot of people still believe that now, and it's pretty reflected in this interview as well.
One thing that was shocking to me was like this one person, like she was saying that Korean people's facial structures tend to be softer and flatter, so they can't really pull off the tanned look. And, you know, she then proceeded to say those with prominent bone structures could definitely pull it off.
Is this the same girl who said that comment about the clothing as well? No, some other girl said that.
I don't think it was the same girl, but there was a comment about how your pale skin kind of looks better with certain kinds of clothing.
And they fail to realize
is a problem.
Yeah, that this is internalized colorism or racism, if you really want to go that far. But it was put into their mind that, I don't look good in light colors because my skin is too dark and it doesn't match.
Yeah.
Or I can't wear pastel colored makeup because my skin is not white enough. So first I need to whiteify my skin and then I can put color palettes that are lighter. No, it doesn't matter. People...
Yeah.
Like, what?
No, I think they don't realize that you can't choose what color your skin is.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
like
genetic.
No matter how much you cake it with like the lightness, it's not going to match the rest of your body.
Yeah.
And I think for people who are lighter and can actually, try that tanned look and put that like darker like tan colors on their face, then they're like, oh, this look is just not for me.
It's a look.
But it's
suddenly my skin color is a look.
Yeah, it's not like, yeah, exactly. Like suddenly your skin color becomes like an accessory, and that's just not the case. And that's where the problem is.
Yeah, it's genetic. You can't change it. And then we should be proud of whatever skin color. Like it sucks for me to think that people living in societies like this who may naturally have tanner skin feel the need to go and buy colors that, like, buy makeup colors that are white and completely don't match, so their necks have different colors from their faces in order to fit into society's image of what makes you look better. Yeah,
and what matches the clothes that you can wear.
Yeah, I don't like when you like the bone structure comment that you brought up. Like, I completely don't understand this. And then
me neither. I don't understand it at all.
Like, my interpretation of this is that to look better, you have to have sharper features, because this is what they all try to achieve through plastic surgery. Okay, like cosmetic plastic surgery, they want sharper noses, higher cheekbones, thinner chins, all to look like who? All to look like white people? I'm sorry if you're watching this and you want to do that. Like, obviously it's up to you, but you have your own reasons. Okay, we're not judging you. But
no.
It's when the society starts putting pressure on you to have to look a certain way, to have bigger eyes, to have sharper noses, to have whiter skin, to look like someone who's not you, so that you can be accepted by all these vain people. Is that really worth it? I don't know. Up to you. If you think it's worth it, go for it.
I think at the end of the day, it's not the person who is undergoing the surgery or getting plastic surgery. They have their own reasons to wanting to get it done. And if it's what's going to make them happy, then it's what's going to make them happy. But what is the motivating factor to why they want to get stuff done?
Exactly.
Is kind of like the issue here.
In China, they had a recent controversy. This is kind of like a mini Quilly, what was my segment called? QT time? Mini QT time. So in China, there's a brand called Sanzhi Songsu, which is a snack foods brand, which is 3 little squirrels. And then they hired a model to model for their foods. And she was very Chinese, right? They hired a Chinese model because it's a Chinese company. Yeah. And then she has like really slanted eyes, and she has really small eyes, which is typical of like half the population there. But then when these ads came out in China, the Chinese netizens were pissed at her. They were pissed at her because they said that her eyes were too small. Okay. They were like, her eyes are too small, and she's playing into the Western image of ethnically Chinese women, and that she's playing into Western fetishism. Okay. But then recently, during the Beijing 2022 Olympics, there's a woman called Gu Ailing and Eileen. And then she is like, what is her sport? Alpine? Some like with the thin skis?
Freestyle skiing. She does big air, half pipe, and slope style ski.
So Guai she does that. And then the Chinese netizens love her. First of all, yeah, she deserves the gold medal. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve any of this, okay? But I'm just saying that the public loves her because of her looks as well as her achievements. But she has received so many brand deals already. She has at least 10 brand deals to market for them in China because she is half white. She has the features that are desirable that people go to plastic surgery places to want to look like. She naturally has them, which makes her such an asset because she's naturally hers. And the same people who were like, wow, this Chinese lady, her eyes are too small. She's playing into white fetishization of women and yellow fever. But then they fawn over a girl who's half white. Like, I'm not... Okay, and there's nothing against people who are mixed, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the culture's response and the double standard. She, like, I don't... What? Like, she is... Imagine being that model and having people accuse you of being an object.
Too Chinese.
Yeah, too Chinese, and you're meant for white men to objectify you, but she was born like that.
Yeah, like...
Right? But then they go crazy over a girl who's half white. No hate. Just society's response.
Just saying.
Mesmerizing. Yeah. It's like, wow, I'm so confused. What's going on here? But yeah, how does this link to Singles Inferno? Yeah.
The white supremacy.
White supremacy. To our white listeners, it's nothing against you.
It's society.
It's just society is what it is.
It's just how it is. It's just what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
They also don't even think that complimenting someone on skin color is white supremacy.
Oh my God. You know what? It's my time to shine. Someone was commenting on my skin color and they said, if she's a tan, she's a ban.
Yeah, that's awful.
It still hurts me to this day. It hurts because like this is something I can't control. Okay.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then like I understand if this person had their own preferences and they preferred someone with whiter skin. But why do you have to go and insult someone with a skin tone or color or whatever that you don't like? Like, how does it benefit you to go around saying she's tan? People wouldn't like her. Okay, I don't like.
Yeah.
But did you have
so
to
rude.
say that? Yeah. It was mean. And then a lot of our friends too, like maybe even you and me, when we grew up, parents criticize their skin color, right? They go like, you're too tan, you're too dark. What's wrong with that? And what's ironic is that a lot of Americans tan themselves. They do artificial tans. I think our takeaway from this is don't be a judgmental person. And maybe understand where your own prejudices come from. Maybe you're like, I think something should be this way. And maybe it's time to question, why do I think that? And does it come from something that is discriminatory? Does it come from something that's hurting other people? And maybe I shouldn't make comments like this anymore. We're not saying you need to change your personal preferences, right? We're not going like, oh, you need to. No, it's more about knowing where your opinions come from and knowing, maybe doing the challenge of questioning some of your values. That's very hard. Yeah, but I think asking questions will always lead to good outcomes. You learn more about yourself, your culture, where things come from, and maybe understanding other people's trauma, your own trauma, therapy. At the end of the day, we're basically saying, lady on the panel during Singles Inferno, I'm not saying Ji-yeon is not pure or anything. I'm just saying that you can't assume that she's pure just because her skin is whiter. If she's saying that Ji-yeon seems more innocent and pure, then that means she's saying So-yeon is not innocent and not pure. Like the connotations with saying things like that is very impactful. And so many people watch this show and they think this is okay. And that's what like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like so many, when you see a lot of this in media, and this is something that like media is so like in your face. That's what we consume. That's what we see every day. If you are someone who's growing up in a society and you see these people with features that you weren't born with, you're gonna end up wanting to undergo procedures to get those features. You know?
Yeah.
And it's not just in Korea. Like it's also like that here too. And you like, you know, you want to achieve something that just can only be achieved through plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And then it just causes like a cycle.
It does. Imagine this. 2 parents, very intense plastic surgery. They cut off parts of their chin. They put in implants in their nose. They put in a string for their double eyelids, and they have children. Their child is going to grow up wondering why they don't look like their parents. Why do I not look this pretty? And then or what they perceive as pretty. And then they're going to go through all these operations to look like that.
Yeah. And then I think another thing with like plastic surgery and stuff, it's not accessible to everyone. It is something people with privilege can afford to undergo. Then it's just like, you know, people who are rich now also are pretty. And then it's just like you kind of associate now people who are rich with being, you know, beautiful. And then now you kind of make that connection in your brain, like, okay, in order for me to be rich, I need to be beautiful. And then now I need to go get surgery so I can be beautiful and then be rich. So it just kind of like subconsciously kind of plays into that, makes the divide even bigger.
Very well said. Like many things in life.
Privilege.
It's the rich get richer, the privileged get richer.
Yeah.
The privileged get prettier. And it makes people who are not at that stage in life or whatever think that that's the way to go and that's what they need to do.
Yeah. Because I know, like, there are people who are just like their whole lives, they're like waiting for that moment where they can go and undergo certain procedures to like change the way they look, and that's fine. But the fact that, you know, up to that point they just feel like they're lesser because they don't
feel confident themselves.
They don't feel confident. It's just kind of sad, you know.
Beckett and I have done some sleuthing on profiles of people who have cosmetic surgeries done, and then we noticed that in group photos it's very easy to tell who hasn't gotten it, not because of their features necessarily, but because of the confidence that they're exuding. It's very obvious that when they're in a place with a lot of people who have had cosmetic surgery, they close themselves and they try to hide the features that they find are unattractive. And it's kind of sad because, like, you're beautiful. Just the way you are.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, also one other thing is that I have a friend who I find she's very beautiful. I think she's very pretty. Okay. And then she brought up stuff to me about things that she wanted to change cosmetically. And she was talking about all these things, and then I've never noticed that. Like, when I look at her, I don't think that part of you is too big or your face is uneven. I never think those things. And I think people who think about this, like having cosmetic surgery to look better, they start fixating themselves on really minor things. And then it gnaws away at their own confidence and their own self-esteem. It's just overall not great.
And I found it interesting during Singles Inferno when they would say really specific things that they were looked for. They'll be like, oh, I'm looking for someone with a really large double eyelid, or I'm looking for someone who has like a really high like nose bridge. And these are like very, very specific parts of a body. And a lot of the times in that culture, I mean, especially, you know, knowing that Asians do have flatter features and tend to have smaller eyelids, these are things that need to be done under plastic surgery. So, you know, there's like some concern there for sure.
Because guys will be like, oh, for me to be more desirable, I need to get rhinoplasty.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then it also doesn't help that like all the idols and stuff look perfect. First of all, there's makeup. Makeup can do wonders, actually. Like, you don't actually have to get cosmetic surgery to look completely different. But there's makeup, there's a production crew behind how they look, and then people end up comparing themselves to like idols and stuff too, and they think they're inferior. Or like women watch K-dramas and stuff, and they start building their ideal type based on what they see on TV. So then men feel the need to become that in order to be desired by women.
Yeah. If you start saying things like, oh, I'm looking for a really sharp chin, or like a really pointy nose, maybe start thinking about where that comes from.
Oh my god, dude, my mom used to pinch my nose bridge to have it grow taller.
Oh, yeah.
My grandma, when I was an infant, she used to run a toothpick on my eyelid. She ran a toothpick on my eyelid to give me double eyelids, which, by the way, I do have them, but they're like, it's natural though. Like, the thing is, my grandma takes credit for my double eyelids. And I was like, you really think rubbing a toothpick on my eyes, which you could have poked me with, caused my double eyelids? Girl. If you're out there and your family, friends, you've been bullied for your features, we love you. We love you. You're beautiful just the way you are. Yeah, we also get it if you want to go and do something about it, if you want to change it. Yeah. We also get it. But we also want you to know that even if you don't do it, you are beautiful. Thank you for listening to the BBT Pod.
Our music is by our friend at soundcloud.com/MIERUKO.
See y'all next time.
Bye.